You know what, the wine industry and actually just in general, the press and the marketing of everything in this world right now gets wrong about Gen Z. Not to say that I am Gen Z, I'm a millennial, I am 33 years old. However, I manage lots of Gen Z and I work with lots of Gen Z. And so I kind of have a good sense of how their brains work and how they operate in public. But what I think the wine industry particularly gets wrong is the fact it is siloed to a preference to a degree. And I just saw this article the other day on The Wine Enthusiast about the ritual of sharing a bottle is becoming lost, and they focus specifically on Gen Z and their inability to order a bottle of wine and feel the need to share it, or even just order it in general because they felt like it was too intimate, too much commitment. I mean, y'all, like, the quotes are funny. 25 years old Evan never thought about ordering a bottle of wine on a date, too presumptuous and too pretentious. 26, seen it in the movies, embarrassing or forward of a date to do this with someone you don't know well. But what I think people don't understand about working with Gen Z and this next generation isn't just about the preference. I really think it's because they're growing up in two different macro forces that are forcing them to have this very conservative behavior. Number one, they haven't been modeled and they haven't seen what real society looks like. A lot of them came into adulthood in their late teens to early 20s in the pandemic, okay? The pandemic was a different world. People were not dining out. People were not spending excessively on, well, they were on dining experiences, but I also think that their peers and those around them and around that time when they were coming into their consumption patterns wasn't shown as behavior to them to mock. And I know this because I manage Gen Z who've never worked in an office setting and or in any kind of work setting, and they don't know what the etiquettes are. They don't know that you're supposed to reply to an email saying receipt, like confirming a receipt or even acknowledging someone's request, how there's decorum when it comes to writing an email or responding to somebody. They don't know any of that because it's monkey see, monkey do. Like, we forget as human beings that we inherently learn from one another by seeing and observing and also learning through osmosis, and they just haven't had that. And I think the dining experience has been one of those neglected things during the pandemic with this next generation of drinkers. And number two, yes, bottles seem like a bigger commitment because they have a bigger price tag. So in their mind, buying wine by the glass is cheaper because it's a lower price point when in fact they get lower value. You pay more for what you're getting, right? Instead of you're getting more quantity with a bottle, perhaps at a nicer quality. You have to also remember we're living in a financially uncertain time. And so for them to drop $80 seems like a bigger investment than for them to sit there for 2 to 3 hours ordering 2 to 3 wine by the glass or 2 to 3 espressos at like $25 to $30 when they could just be ordering a bottle and sharing it, and you're paying half of the price by splitting that bottle in half, right? But again, consumers don't think that way. Consumers think about what they inherently see and believe in front of them, and they take action that way. But I think that's what we get wrong all the time. And when I read these articles, I feel like that's what a lot of journalists get wrong when they write about these topics, and they look at it like as if like, oh yeah, they're just like naturally like conservative and they're just anti-alcohol. It's not that. It's all the things around it. And I see it by working with these young people, and they just don't know because they haven't experienced the world like we have. At least the millennials and up, they just have it. And so they don't know what the world is like. And that's why we're getting things like 2016 nostalgia. They don't see the fact that we lived a life of freedom and uncareness and cringe because we didn't have phones staring at us all day. We also wore what we wanted to wear. We were coming into ourselves as like young adults, and they don't have that. And so they can't even fathom what that is. And we as a society need to model this for them. And it'll be a long time coming, but I think that's going to be one of the forces and the catalyst to helping the wine industry to get back to where they are, because we just need to show them how it's done because they don't know how.